Okay, this is a quick demo of using a mashup with SAML authentication inside of Salesforce, with Salesforce acting as the IDP. But in reality, it wouldn't even matter, even if you're not using Salesforce as IDP and you're using Okta or Ping. Again, that would be irrelevant in this case. So I have a Visualforce page. At the top, I'm loading Bluebird and I'm loading jQuery. I've also added what I'm referring to as a stub page in the Qlik content library. This is stub.html. It's literally a blank HTML file, so empty body. What this does is it triggers the authentication request over the SFDC virtual proxy. So this kicks off the initial authentication request, and while that's happening in the background, I essentially have some script that's polling the QRS/about endpoint, and it's waiting for a 200. Because we can't guarantee when this authentication request is actually going to complete, we poll it every second up to 10 times until we get a 200. And then as soon as we get a 200, we then load the CSS. So we load Qlik style CSS from the SFDC virtual proxy. Then we inject the script, the required JS script, again from the SFDC virtual proxy, and we build our mashup based off of the authentication that was again triggered by this stub.html page that's sitting in the content library. You can see my CORS settings here, where I've started up salesforce.com, and another server IP, the actual Salesforce instance itself, and then sfdc.qlikdc.com, which is my Qlik server. The mashup, again, you can see has been loaded here. You can see that first 200 response as I'm already authenticated. Sometimes you'll always see an individual. You'll sometimes always see rather multiple 200s. You might not ever see the 302 if it is authenticating fast enough, less than 1 second, that is. Now on the virtual proxy side within Qlik, you need to make sure that you have your allow access control origin set to the Salesforce server. You also need to ensure that you have access control allow credentials to true. This is for polling the QRS API. In the host whitelist, I have my Salesforce domain and my QlikSense domain. Now what I'm going to do is log in incognito in Chrome, so I don't have that Qlik session cookie. I'm going to go straight to that Qlik mashup test sub. So again, I'm not going to request any resource prior that would allow me to authenticate against Qlik. Log in as this user. And quickly hit F12 so we can see what's going on. You'll immediately see that I do get that 200. So it did actually authenticate in less than 1 second. I didn't have to enter that second loop. You will notice some CORB, this cross-origin read blocking. That's not from Qlik. You can see that's from Salesforce. That's the set SFX cookie, etc. And you can see that it has loaded two visualizations that have been generated by the visualization API, and another one, a pre-existing visualization that has been injected in. So I hope this helps. Thanks.